Being holed up in one place for the last few weeks can be a bit taxing. You know, I remember he loves fresh fish. Fresh fish, huh? Shiko certainly does have an eccentric taste. Kazuyu, pick up some sashimi. Right away, boss. Okay, so I know where we're going now. Huh, it worked. Looked like Sumi's tip wasn't a lie. Can we go in now? Dun dun dun. That stench. I know that smell. Anyone who's worked homicide long enough knows it. Dead body. Is this it? It seems to be locked. I can't open it. Let's pick the lock then. I can't. It seems like the inside of the door of the lock has been filed off. Kick it then. It didn't move at all. It must be reinforced. Okay. Maybe open this one. No good. As if something's holding it from the other side. That's nice. This is the sort of smell I've been pulling something in bad shape too. Whoever did it locked the doors. The entire wall was undisturbed. What's this? There's a paper bag with a name on it. Did this? There was something there, but I can't remember it now. It's really annoying. Sounds like somebody's trying to escape from this. The rattling stopped. Why? God, that's weird. Okay. Shots of various girls, all taken in this room. They don't look like professional headshots that I used to take. They look so sad and young. Got a pretty good idea what these pictures are used for and all types of people they might have been sending. Reina. So it's true. Do you think you were kept in a place like this? What happened to you? Huh? Something's happening. Don't ignore me. Maybe it's my same excuse over and over. I don't know what you're talking about. Ruby. Yes, Ruby. You think because that one song was a hit, you can just stop working? That money's all gone, sweetheart. We've spent it all trying to get you a record deal. Don't think it's unfair to you to stay here free without doing any work. Stop crying. I'm talking to you. Please, I don't need to. I'll do another song. I'll make it up to you. I promise. I just want to. That's exactly what I'm setting all these meetings for you. To make the right impression with these guys, and they'll take you places. Speaking of which, I got a call a little while ago from Mesa. Know what he's told me? He told me you were being a little disagreeable with him last night at his place. You know that he's one of our best clients, don't you? The things he can do for you girls is, well, I don't even need to tell him. I sent you to him because he said that was something special. In fact, he said out of all the girls, he was particularly wanted to meet you. I did you a big favour by making that happen. Then you compensate my generosity by sitting in a room crying and telling me that you don't feel well, whatever excuse you come up with next. He tried to... I don't care what he tried to do. You should have let him. When I took you in, you were vulnerable to any girl who was ready for fame and whiskey. I saw your potential. I could already tell you how pretty you were. That's all you men care about. Now look. So what? You think I took you in because of how smart you were? You're an idol. You're supposed to be looked at. Most men would fall over themselves to meet a pretty girl like you, but you ruin it for everyone when you sit there crying. What are you doing? I'm sick of looking like an idiot, Ruby. You made me do this.
なんてこと。
Oh, is that her? I can't stand to see you like this. You're not going to feel better state. Listen, I've got you that photo shoot with Dr. Martin. Are you listening? You can make me go out. I don't want to go out. Let me stay here. What's wrong with you? Please don't make me. I'm afraid to go. As far as I can tell, all you're afraid of is success. I've fallen over myself to make you a star, and you've never gotten anywhere. You will never get anywhere if you lock yourself away. What? You're not going to say anything? You can't treat me this way. I gave you your name, your music, damn near everything else. Oh, you think you're special, right? Let me break it to you, honey. You're not. There's loads of other girls in this business just like you. They do what they have to do without complaining about it. They understand how important it is to keep clients happy. I'm sorry it's not all butterflies and flowers, but you're not some naive little girl anymore. You're a woman now. Hey, Earth to Ruby, I'm trying to give you some advice and you're not even listening. My name is Reina. What did you say? Reina? Who's that? Oh yeah, the name of some pathetic little foster girl I picked up. You want to go back to being her? Just say the word and I'll throw you out there myself. If you think you've got it so bad now, let's count the seconds between you hitting those streets and back in the foster care or dead in some gutter. Not so talkative now, are we, Reina? Or is it Ruby, the girl who was successful? The girl who made it if she could, just to do what she was told? Sorry, I lost my temper. You see things my way. You were special, you know that. I see. I saw so much potential in you. You're such a beautiful young girl. I wanted to raise you up and show you what life could be like. Then you reject me and everything I could offer you. It's a damn shame. You're still pretty, Ruby. So pretty. Look, I get it. You're a teenager and you want to cry out, right? Fine. When you're done with that, you're going back out there. You think I want to send you to all these little meetings with Martin and guys like him? I'd rather you were successful so you don't have to do that. I'm on your side. If you work harder, you wouldn't have to do things like that. Stop crying. You are not a child anymore. I just want to go home. Home? Where do you think you are? You are home. This is as good as it gets for a girl like you. Tomorrow you're going to with Martha and do whatever it is he tells you to do. You'll stop crying and you'll start making some money. Maybe it was a mistake to think that you'd be so special. Turns out you're just another disappointment, another whore. There's something lying on the mattress. It's a newspaper article dated October 24th, 2004. The article titled, "One Hit Wonder Ruby Commits Suicide." That can't be. That was over 10 years ago. Her real name was withheld from the press, but her picture is there. According to the article, her ghost went to her room and found it locked. He called her and she didn't answer. I thought she must have been tired, he said. She was working hard on a new song. He only forced the door when he noticed the smell where he found her hanging from the rafters. She hung herself almost 2 days before. Probably in this room. There's more. The Mr. and Mrs. Agashi had doctored her years before. Ruby was not made to work and loved being an idol more than anything in the world. Her song "Look For Me" went on sale again this month. All the sales go to various suicide prevention charities. I've read enough. The sadness that is in this room is the same awful feeling I've felt in the sewers. Is it Reina's? Is that what I'm supposed to see? So she committed suicide, then she was alive, and managed to get up with this mask, and then she died again. I'm so confused right now. Is there anything else there? I don't think there is. I feel sick. A monster. How many girls did Higashi pass around and abuse before she murdered him? And Reina, she looked the same as she does now. 16 years old. A child. Higashi had her locked up and she tried to take back control the only way she thought she could. Only she came back. And all that pain and suffering came back with her. When I was in that room, I could feel it like it was my own. And it's not the first time I felt it. The darkness seeped into it. As soon as I realised it was like the air changed, I could sense a pulse now, like a heartbeat following me, but it's not enough. The mask helped me find the door, and I could feel the dark, but the path still isn't open to me. What am I missing? My gut tells me it has to do with the Kamani guy. And the only one alive who knows about it is the old woman, is old Cole woman. And she has to tell me what happened. Right. Going back to the shrine. Oh god, how does she sound again? I don't actually remember. You! I told you to stay away from my family. Don't drag my grandchildren into this any more than you already have. Stay back! I have questions about the Kamadakai, the group your daughter and son-in-law were part of. You're the only one alive who'd remember. Sorry, my brain just went... Bloop. Kamakai? I don't know anything about it. Leave me! Grandma, enough. Listen to yourself. Do you even realise you're lying anymore? Takeshi told us everything. And you, Nito, just because this investigation is important to you doesn't give you the right to barge in here. She's got a point. Your grandma and I need to talk. If it upsets you, maybe you should go. No, I'm not going anywhere. This is the house I grew up in. It's as much mine as it is Grandma's. If you have anything to say, you could say it in front of me. Only a little while ago I found out my parents died in some cult and no one even knows why. You think hearing that was easy for me? I want to help you, Noto, but all the deceit and lies are starting to hurt people. What I'm chasing is so much worse. Tell that to that poor man in the station. He's in hospital now, terrified out of his wits. People aren't only here to be used for information and then throw away while you move on. They have lives too. And bringing up the past can hurt. Surely you, of all people, understand that. I do. But ignoring the past won't make it go away, and there's unfinished business from the Kamikai that needs to be taken care of. But what's left to talk about? Everyone's dead, right? I promised to talk to you... Oh no, that's not how she sounded, was it? I promised to talk to you all about this later. For now, let me and the detective talk. Go on, you were cooking us dinner, weren't you? Alright, we'll talk about it later, but I'll be in the other room if you need me. So, you've found me out. Now that Mai knows, I suppose there's no point in keeping it a secret anymore. The truth is, my daughter never would have joined the Kamikai if it weren't for me. I convinced her and her husband to join. I was already a member. At the time I joined, my husband had left me and I'd lost my job, suddenly leaving me a single, unemployed mother who could barely support her daughter. And when Tomikasai found me and told me that the society that stigmatized and shunned me was a fiction, a great machine to be fought, and that very soul was at stake. Of course he used me as he did everyone else. I desperately wanted to hear that my struggles weren't my fault. They stole everything from me. My youth, my mind, then my child. And then one day in 1996 they all died. The cause of death was buried and no autopsies were performed. Or if they were hidden. Why? That's simple. The government didn't care about some dead cultists in the woods and covered it up so that the papers wouldn't sensationalize their deaths. That's it? After everything I found, you expect me to believe in that? 12 people died that day and no one knows why. What happened? Tell me the truth. You want to know what happened so badly? Fine, I'll tell you. They died for nothing, following in the footsteps of a madman who believed that life was an illusion. As words of other compounds and other groups being raided spread, Tomakasai began warning us that the end was near. He believed that the world was collapsing, and it was time for him and his followers to abandon the flesh and find purity among the gods even. My Emiko, she didn't die for some conspiracy. She chose death because she no longer had an anchor to reality. And it's my fault. Beyond that, I don't know what happened to them. No, you do know something. In the report it says after the officers cleared the bodies, they found the mask. The same one you handed to me 6 months ago. That's... Tomakasai was always keep it to himself, saying it granted him sight into the realm of the kami. I needed it. You don't understand. It allowed us to see strange things and people who were gone. The guru was a fool, a fake, but the mask was real. There was a rumour... Oh, no, that's me. There was a rumour that the cult members were killed by one of their own. Surely that you didn't... No, you don't understand. I would never kill my own child. I did take the mask. It was given to me. I didn't. One day, a man, some journalist or another, showed up to my door carrying the mask. I couldn't believe it. I begged him for it, and he stood there smiling at me. His eyes were like none I had ever seen. It was strange. All he wanted in exchange for the mask was a picture of Emiko. This sounds like the collector. When I joined the cult, I was forced to give up my possessions and only had one left, but I gave it to him nonetheless. I thought if I had the mask, then I could find her. Then maybe she would forgive me. And so I had it in my hands. My mind opened. I could hear her voice. So you went into the sewers chasing after her, thinking you could save her. Takeshi told you that as well, did he? Yes, it's true. Emiko was crying out to me, begging me to find her and free her from a dark place. I would have given anything to hold her in my arms again and plead her forgiveness. I don't care if you don't believe me. Just like Tanaka was calling out to me. I do believe you. We're probably some of the few people left alive who know what this mask is capable of. If you really thought it would help you find her, then why did you give it to me? Because I was wrong. At first I only followed whispers, then I found myself in a strange labyrinth, chasing after her shade. The days bled together, I lost track of my grandchildren, of the shrine. It was all an illusion. No matter how hard I tried, I never found her. I only became more and more disconnected from the world around me. Excuse me. I descended into madness. I was being used again, just as Tomo Masai had used me so many years before. I tried getting rid of it, throwing it away, burning it. None of it mattered. It always came back. And when I did, the visions and whispers only got worse. So I put it out of my mind and tried as best I could to live a life of solitude and ignore the screams of my daughter. Then you came. And when you did, the mask was screaming out in voices I'd never heard. I thought it was a sign, so I gave it to you. I didn't even have time to breathe out a sigh of relief before I heard a gunshot ring out. No one else ran to it. I think I was the only one who knew that sound for what it was. I thought the mask was punishing me once again by taking May away from me. Instead, it had passed tragedy to another. I'm sorry. Perhaps the knowledge of the masks should die with us. There's one other person who knows about the mask. A girl named Reina. Does that name mean anything to you? No, I don't know anyone by that name. Oh, she totally does. Do you expect me to know everyone who's been touched by the mask? No, but you were involved with a group that worshipped it. Are you sure you're telling me everything? Yes. What good will causing an old woman do? What good will accusing an old woman would do? Oh, don't know. Unless you're chasing someone too. That must be it. Why told me you'd lost someone? Your partner in the police. Is that right? If I'm right, then I suggest you stop your search. The place I was shown by the mask was not meant to be for the living. I barely escaped with my own life. Stop while your mind and body remained intact. What if I told you there was another option? What other option? In the months since I first met you, I've had time to examine the ancient texts in this shrine, and as the mask grew further away, it loosened its grip on my mind. I knew then it would someday make its way back to me, so I became determined to find a way to protect my grandchildren from its influence. The darkness of the Kamikai and its ritual object are but manipulations used to sever our connection with what is truly divine. The mask breeds darkness. Dark forces can evade all manner of living and non-living things, driving them to violence or death. That which is evil cannot be used or tolerated. It must be destroyed. It is the only way to save us from its grip. Destroy the mask? I thought you said it couldn't be done. Not physically. Grandma, is everything alright? I overheard you talking about that mask again. Yes, dear, you needn't worry. In fact, it's good you are here, as this talk involves you. Mai, you were trained in exorcism and purification rituals for quite some time, haven't you? Such a ritual could purify the mask and turn it into a mere piece of wood. Given we'd rather the right materials, of course. We'd gather, even. I can tell from the look in your eyes that you think me to be senile, and I'm quite serious. Even modern rituals have ancient roots, and with enough conviction they are still capable of great power. Before, I was content to die as long as the mask didn't hurt my children, as I was too feeble to do what was necessary myself. But now seeing you here, I see a second chance to do what is right. If you truly do know what the mask is, then you must help me destroy it. Slow down. I didn't come here to be involved in a ritual, exorcism, or whatever you call it. I only want the truth about the Kamikai, which you still haven't given me. You're a stubborn one, aren't you? So be it. I can see that there is only one way to change your mind. The only trace of what happened that day would be at the Kamikai compound itself. The records of its location are lost, and they were never made public, but I know where it is. What's the catch? Easy. She's going to make you do the ritual. Go there, search for your truth. See what worshipping the mask has wrought. When you return, you'll help me destroy it. What makes you so confident I'll change my mind? I went there once, years ago. In all honesty, I'm not sure why. Perhaps to remind myself of my sins. What I saw and felt in that place, it was tainted by darkness and death. Those two things are all the mask will afford to you. There is something else. I had a feeling you were going to say that. The heavy, unnatural air I felt when I returned to the compound. It had the same stench, the same quality of the tunnels where I searched for Emiko. Sounds like a superstition to me. So what exactly is it you want in exchange for the information? I believe the energies of the mask and the place are linked. I want you to bring something back from there. Anything. It may help in the ritual. Looking for the truth will not bring you peace, detective. Purifying the mask very well might. Remember that. The compound is in the forest of Akihagara. Akihagara? Hey, that's the suicide forest. Oh, shit. Suicide forest. What a dreadful name. Though I suppose those woods have seen their fair share of tragedy. And death. Inoto, you can't just go charge in there. It's dangerous. What if you get lost? GPS doesn't work in there, and I've heard even compasses went point north. Not only that, but, well, a lot of people go there to die. I don't think you should go. You keep talking about that mask like it's some evil spirit causing you pain, but I think the pain you're feeling isn't caused by a mask. It's just you. So many nights after the girl died in the shrine, I had nightmares. Every corner I went around, I thought I'd see her there. It wasn't a ritual or a charm that made me better, though. I just stopped listening to the fear. I confronted it. When you took me to see Tanakashi, that was the first time I've left Kamakrai since April. It's embarrassing to admit, but I was scared. And yeah, Tanakashi telling me all that stuff about Mum and Dad was crazy, but it was the truth. I wasn't hiding from some demon I'd invented myself. Anyway, I know you might not listen to me, and I don't think you should put yourself in danger just so you can keep chasing your demons. Maybe you're right, but some demons have a way of spreading to others. Seeing the Kamunakai compound is something I have to do. Well, it's your choice, but Akihagara is huge. How are you going to find one compound? Mai makes a good point. It's been a long time. Are you sure you remember where it is? Of course I do. I know what you two must think of me, but I'm not senile. Oh, she's definitely not if she doesn't think she's crazy. That's one thing I learned in psychology. It's a hike away from a bus stop on the outskirts of Narasawa. We used to go into town occasionally for supplies. Several miles away from the bus stop there's a clearing and a path there used from time to time by the Forest Service. I'll draw you a map before you leave. Continues for quite some time and eventually it will be blocked off. Keep going forward and do not turn back or leave the path. The forest can play tricks on you. Supposing the path is still there, it seems pretty incredible to me that the compound would have been left alone all these years. It still stands. After all, why would they bother go and dismantle it? Go, search for whatever truth you think you'll find, but be careful, detective. Do what must be done, then leave. Staying there is dangerous. I hope that once you enter the place and feel the energy I did, you'll have the sense to see what I never could. You understand, don't you? The mask must be purified. It depends on what I find. I understand. She comes first. I want to destroy this mask. I know that we might have to sacrifice Tanaka, but yeah. Good. I'll begin preparations for the ceremony regardless. Mai, see her out. Oh dear. I don't like this, where this is going at all. Especially what happened recently. She's never said anything like that to me. You must have really scared her. Listen, I'll help you with this ritual because I think it will help Grandma get better. But don't get yourself killed. I know in your eyes I'm probably just a kid, but I know how much it hurts to want the truth. Tanakashi obsessed over the past, and I was miserable not knowing. Grandma almost went insane on top of that. Grandma said it herself. You're still young. You should forget all about this and start over. And you might not want to hear this, but listening to you two talk about masks and spirits, well, you sounded like that girl at the shrine. It scares me, and it should scare you too. Take care of yourself, Noto. Oh boy, I'm not looking forward to this. Akihagara, better known as the Suicide Forest, despite its nickname, the volcanic earth it grows on makes the forest beautiful and green. Every year, however, large numbers of people wander in intending it to be their final resting place. Occasionally, authorities have to comb through it for new bodies. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. Finally, this must be the path the old Kanawa woman was talking about. If her story was true, all I needed to do was follow it to find the Chemicide's old compound. Let's hope it's that simple. No time to sit here and think it through. Even I need to get out of these woods before nightfall.